Hello everyone, I'm AT Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. It was a seasonably warm but cloudy day on our Monday as highs topped out in the mid to upper 40s. We had a little bit of some light rain around at times, but most of the area, those totals were pretty light in nature. Waking up to some areas of fog and some light rain showers and some sprinkles and mist this morning. And we'll have off and on rain showers in the forecast for today, but we're not expecting any major travel issues because temperatures are going to remain warm enough. Not expecting a heavy rain by any means, and the winds are going to be calm. Plus temperatures will be staying in the 40s. But tonight, though, rain changing to snow, and the winds will be increasing as well late tonight and continuing into the day on Wednesday. And that's when we are going to see those travel impacts increase across the area. And that's all thanks to this area of low pressure that is over South Dakota this morning. You can see quite a bit of snow falling across northern South Dakota into most of North Dakota and into northern Minnesota. The warm front extending just to our north, so we're mainly going to be on the warmer side of things today with some rain. But this low has actually been tracking a little bit further to the south in the recent runs, and as a result, the winter weather alerts have been expanded. So if you recall yesterday, Rusk, Barron, Polk, and St. Croix counties were put under a winter weather advisory yesterday afternoon. This morning, that was upgraded to a winter storm warning. The advisory was expanded south and east to include Pierce, Pepin, Dunn, Chippewa, Eau Claire, and Taylor counties, essentially down to the Chippewa River. Now, as far as the timing goes on these alerts, midnight tonight to 9 a.m. Wednesday for the winter weather advisory, though it goes 3 a.m. to noon for Taylor County. For the winter storm warning, it will begin at 6 p.m. for Polk County, 9 p.m. for St. Croix, Barron, and Rusk, and that will go till 9 a.m. as well on our Wednesday. Now, Buffalo, Trempealeau, Jackson counties, you will still see some snow out of this, but you're also going to see the strong winds. Of course, that'll be all of western Wisconsin. But we have a wind advisory for Buffalo, Trempealeau, Jackson counties at points south from midnight tonight till noon on Wednesday, where that is where the highest confidence is for wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. As of recording this just after 7 a.m. on Tuesday, Clark County not under any winter weather alerts or any wind alerts either for that matter. That could change, though, as the day goes on. So we'll keep you updated there. And perhaps the wind advisory could be replaced with a winter weather advisory for Buffalo, Trempealeau, Jackson if we continue to see a southerly shift in the track of this system. So that's where things stand as of this morning. So let's time everything out here. We're going to take a look at the graph model here. And again, we will have periods of scattered rain showers around throughout the day today. Here's 6 o'clock tonight. Still rain across the area. Start to see that change over a little bit from around Ladysmith to Turtle Lake and Osceola and Rice Lake, eventually drifting southeast as the evening goes on. Now, with the low strengthening and moving over our area, we'll start to see those winds increase behind that, but we also may see a dry slot develop, which is what you see here. That's sometimes typical when you get a low passing over an area. You get a small area near and southeast of the low where we do see at least a brief stretch of some drier conditions. But eventually the rain will go away. It will turn colder as the snow will move in overnight and continuing into Wednesday morning. And temperatures will be going below freezing here as a result, and could be quickly enough too, which that could also lead to some travel issues as well, which I'll explain here coming up. We'll continue with snow around through Wednesday morning. Could be light to moderate at times. Maybe a heavier burst of snow can't be ruled out. I think the better chance for that will likely stay to our north. And then by Wednesday afternoon, we will quiet things down. Partial clearing possible Wednesday evening. I'm not totally sold on that happening. But as far as Thanksgiving Day goes, it's going to be mostly cloudy to cloudy. It will still be breezy, but we will be dry. So that is the main thing there. Now let's take a look at the HRRR model. And again, this keeps the rain around throughout the day today. So consensus there is pretty good. This one by 8:30 has that rain snow line from about River Falls to Chetek to Ladysmith, still rain south and east. And then eventually as we get towards midnight, Medford to Stanley, Eau Claire down to Alma is where that rain snow line is. So the timing of the rain changing to snow around the Chippewa River Valley area seems to be in pretty good agreement between about, I would say, 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. or so, kind of in that rough area. And then snow overnight, but tapering off by about midday on our Wednesday. So with all that being said, and the track going a little bit further to the south, as expected, the snow totals have come up a little bit. But before I show you my map, this is a look at the probability, and this is the chance of at least 2 inches of snow. If you recall yesterday, we had those probability is lower across the area. Now you can see from Highway 10 north roughly is about an 80% chance we see at least 2 inches of snow, a little bit lower to the south, and at least a 90 to 95% chance from near Prescott to just north of Menominee to Medford and north. Now here's 4 inches. You can see there is a little bit of a sharp cutoff though. You go from, about 80% near Highway 8 down to about 20 to 25% along the Highway 10 corridor. Here's 6 inches, and again, you can see from Highway 64 roughly to the city's north, it's between about 40 to as high as 60 to 70%. And then just to look for 8 inches, you can see about a 40 to 50% chance from about Rice Lake to the north. So again, confidence is a little bit higher. We're going to see the highest totals north of Highway 64. That is what my forecast calls for here. So here's the latest update on that. This goes from sunset tonight through noon Wednesday. The areas here in the lighter shade of blue, 1 to 3 inches. The areas kind of in this darker shade of blue from Prescott to Eau Claire to Greenwood up to near Highway 64, maybe just north of Medford, 2 to 6 inches, and then 4 to 8 for the areas here in the darker shade of blue. Now, you notice some of the pinks and purples up to the north. They are expecting even higher totals there. Some spots up around just outside of Duluth and Superior over towards Hayward, Ashland, could see upwards of maybe 8 to 12 inches of snow, maybe even some higher totals than that. And then around Hurley and Ironwood, Michigan into the UP, and that is mostly due to lake enhancement there. Some spots there could see 20 to 30 inches of snow. And some data is even suggesting some spots could even see over 30 inches of snow there. So as you would probably expect, travel is going to be severely impacted in that part of the state. And I'll actually show you that map here in a second. You can see the area in yellow here. That means we'll have moderate impacts. Covered roads are going to be pretty much a bet, at least somewhere in that area. A couple of spots even showing up in the orange for high impacts. So again, Tuesday night through Wednesday, rain changing to snow, gusty northwest winds, icy and snowy roads and reduced visibility along with blowing snow. And of course, confidence is decently high on that. Another thing to mention though too, and I said this a few minutes ago, that with temperatures going below freezing, any wet roadways could turn icy if they're not treated, right away. What's sometimes known as a flash freeze. Again, the chances for that are low, but it's not completely zero. So something to just kind of keep in mind there. And you look, as I mentioned, up to the north, those higher snow totals, you can see some of the areas in red here. That indicates potentially major impacts in those areas, and that likely extends into the UP and Michigan. Now, it's not going to be as impactful if you go down towards Madison, La Crosse, even over towards Green Bay. There'll still be some snow and some wind for sure, but the snow totals will be dropping across the southern third of the state. But if your travels take you north or even northwest today, tomorrow, into Thanksgiving Day, just know that you are going to have some significant travel impacts there with some very heavy snowfall and those strong winds, and also going into the UP and Michigan as well. So a quick recap again, rain through this evening, changing to snow from northwest to southeast Tuesday evening into the overnight hours. And again, there will be some snow accumulation. The highest total is likely going to be in that warning area, and really from about Highway 64 to the north, that's where the highest totals could be and are looking to be at this time. Again, we may see the track a little bit further to the south, but we could also see it maybe nudge back to the north. So we will keep you updated there. Strong winds are likely regardless. And as I mentioned, those travel impacts are expected. So just keep that in mind. Maybe you need to leave a little bit earlier, or maybe just hold off a little bit until those conditions do improve. Now, very quickly, I do want to mention that, again, Thursday during the day is dry. Another system could bring some snow showers to the area late Friday night through Saturday evening, maybe lingering into Sunday. Again, it's too early to talk, logistics on that, but that could maybe cause some impacts for those heading home from Thanksgiving. So we'll keep you updated there. Also, we are going to see those temperatures staying below average. After our high today of 48, we're going to have highs generally mid to upper 20s, lows between about 15 and 20. But there are signs Sunday night into early next week, temperatures could be even colder than that. Right now, I have a low of 7 degrees Sunday night and just 20 degrees on Monday. But some of the data this morning suggesting we could be a little bit colder than that. So we'll continue to watch trends there. But certainly, we will be dealing with colder conditions after today for likely an extended stretch.